when you make a pot roast, let's say, and you create the nice sauce that it was roasting in the whole time. Uh, the last few days, I made two dishes. One was Italian sausage with peppers and onions, etc. That will be on one of my videos. In fact, that it hasn't gone through yet, but I've already completed that. And I made another one I made zraze. And zraze is a sauce that I made after I sauteed these little roll-ups. And that meat was round steak. Both of those sauces were long cooking and just had everything in them, from peppers and celery and onions and garlic and plus the exquisiteness of the meat substance that is embellished in that sauce. So I've done this many times before. I don't know if other people do it, but I wanted to share this with you because I blended the two sauces and I making a soup out of it. And so I took the sauce and I used this hand, one of these deals. In fact, you can still see it on there. I blended it because I had carrots in there and some peppers in there. And so it blended that all out for me. And I have this beautiful pot of a sauce from the two, and it tastes really good. Something that you would work for hours to get again, to repeat, but you have it already. And rather than, a lot of times if I don't know what I'm going to do with it at that time, or I don't have the time, I just freeze that sauce. And I could use it again if I'm making something else, like, let's say I throw in some Italian sausages, and that's how I started with the one with the Italian sausage. And you brown it up. You can use that frozen sauce from the last time and just throw it down, and you got something really pretty good. So, or add it to a pot roast. If you know how you brown the pot roast, you put it in a slow cooker, and you can just use that sauce. So this is what I've just done. So now I cooked up some potatoes, one big, not some, one potato, one big red potato. I cooked that up already, and I have the potato here. It's, just broken up, lightly broken up. I've got some noodles cooking right now. I'm also going to add, this was one of my vegetables from my dinner last night, which was corn and peas that I mixed together, frozen corn and peas that I had with my zrazi, in fact. And so it was left over. So you've got this almost pre-cooked situation happening, and all the wonderful time that you've spent. I've got those little noodles, the little corkscrew noodles. I've got them cooking here in a little water. And I'm just going to use that pasta water, but I want to check to see how close is this noodle done. And I'm not quite sure yet. So we'll just check that. And almost there. Not quite. I'm not going to be cooking this for a long time because everything is cooked. Everything is cooked ahead of time. The sauce is there. We've got the potatoes. We're going to add some beans. It's going to be like a wonderful, maybe pasta fazool or something like that, because of the ingredients that you have already acquired and the essence of the meats that we're cooking in these sauces. So I'm going to now put that sauce into the mixture that's cooking up those noodles. Okay, I'm going to add two bay leaves to that too, and my potatoes are done. So I'm going to let the noodles cook out because they weren't quite ready, and that's okay. So I'm just going to add that to this soup, and you know how in the rest you'll see this in different in the stores where they have mixes already for you, and you just add the water, right? Or you cook up the noodle or what have you, that kind of thing. Well, here's that soup simmering away. I'm going to lower it even a little more. I'm going to add now 14 ounces of the beef broth to that soup. And I'm going to add my white beans. And let's see, I have a few potatoes that I cooked up that's going in there. And my peas and corn from my dinner last night. And I have some lima beans in there too. So we're just going to let that simmer away a little longer. Everything is cooked. And we'll be right back. Well, the soup is done. And I am calling it pasta fagioli. And I looked it up on the internet just to double check this, because I said it jokingly that that's what we were making. And it says here, pasta fagioli, one true requirement is beans and pasta. Okay. A peasant dish composed of inexpensive ingredients. This is what the ladies were doing. So I have, by now you probably will have seen the other videos. I made an Italian sausage with peppers and onions, and then I made, which is sort of Italian, I would say. And then I made zrazy, and that is a Polish dish. Okay, and it's made with round steak and bacon and carrots and onions, and I made a sauce, what have you. Well, we ate up the zrazy, and we finished our Italian sausage, and I had this sauce from both of them. And I've done this many times before, and I don't know who else does it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. You buy packaged or soups that are prepared, and if they're packaged things where they're dehydrated, you add water or what have you, or the noodles that they put in the package with it. But I suggest that you use those sauces and make a soup out of it. And this is absolutely extraordinary, because the round steak is infused in that sauce, the Italian sausage, the peppers, the onions, the carrot, the whole thing. And you'll see those two recipes, on my videos. So I hope you subscribe. Now, I made the soup, and I'm going to bring the camera down, and you saw what I did. Everything was cooked already. I took the two sauces and I blended them with, one of those hand blenders. And this is what we have now. This is what we have. Pasta fagioli. And I added a little spinach too, just a little spinach. And I added about 14 ounces of beef broth. Everything else was cooked prior. And noodles, I cooked one potato. I cooked up these little corkscrew noodles, okay? I added a can of white beans. And these carrots are from the Italian sausage I made, and the zrazy, So it's a composite here, Polish and Italian, right? But it's absolutely, I put some lima beans in here and some corn and peas that I had from the night before. So you take leftovers and sauces from what you've spent a lot of time working on and cooking and roasting. Those things were all roasted. So now I'm going to add a little bit of this Parmesan cheese, little Parmesan cheese. I have a cousin, Bruce. He says, "Oh, when I go to the Olive Garden, I order my soup, and I just love that pasta fagioli." I hope that's the one he said he liked. And I don't know, Bruce, but this is better than the pasta fagioli at the Olive Garden. Here's to you. I can't describe. This is really incredible, because you have the base of the roasted meats that you made previously. Keep it all. Hardly cost. The only thing was probably the can of beef broth that I bought, and a can of beans. So here you go. And you've got the whole thing. And I'll tell you what, some crusty bread and a salad, and it's a meal. I hope you watch for my other recipes. This is a composite of two. Use your sauces. If you make pot roast, use that sauce, incorporate a nice soup in it with some a little vegetables or some cabbage, or even saute a little ground meat. You can add to that. Wonderful meals. Wonderful meals for pennies. If you have a big family, they'll love this. Enjoy.